There's nothing else that can happen. There's no moving forward after me shame. After me shame, like, it's just like everything lock off. Hi and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lex, and if you're not, then welcome back. So as you can tell from the title, I'm going to do a story time on this just really chaotic period in my high school life, and give you guys all the details and how it has shaped me into who I am today. It was wild. But before we even get started, I want to draw you guys' attention to the fabulous jewelry that I'm wearing right now. These pieces are from Ana Luisa, New York, and I've spoken about them on my channel before. I really love them because I really respect their mission and what they stand for as a brand. They produce sustainable jewelry. They are carbon neutral, which means that they have zero carbon emissions. They are actually doing really good for the environment. They produce like limited amounts of pieces, so like they're not wasted, but it's not like really hard to get them, and they're really fairly priced. Like, it's not like no markups and stuff like that. Like, they're just a very fair business, and their pieces are really cute. So right now I'm wearing their mountain necklace, their door knocker earrings, and their gold coin hoops. I actually feel like the hoops would go better with this earring that I'm wearing because they kind of have the same like coin detail. But the earrings that I'm wearing, these are just like so different. I love the size of them. I'm really into like smaller hoops. Sometimes, like, the hoochie hoops are cute, but these look like real classy and like grown. Like, I don't know why, they just look really grown and cute. It's the perfect time to shop Ana Luisa because jewelry is the perfect Christmas gift, and it's also just a great treat for yourself. So right now they have buy one get one 40% off, and if you're in the US, then you also get a free jewelry case. But don't worry if you're international, because they always send their jewelry in these cute packets that I like to keep mine in. So go ahead and check out the description bar for an exclusive code that you can use to shop Ana Luisa today. If you haven't already, go ahead and click subscribe. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers before the end of the year, so go ahead and share this video as well. Give it a thumbs up, and let's do this. So I'm not a drama person. Like, I don't do mix up and cascades when I do auto clubs. Like, you will never hear my name called in anything at all. But I feel like I went through this period in high school. Like, anytime I think about it, I call it the dark period in my life because it was so unlike me. When I was in first form, I was popular, but I wasn't popular because like I was in like crowds and stuff like that. Like, I was known on the school for two reasons. Because I went to prep school with like some of the older kids and stuff, so like they knew me, and then also my brother and my god sister already at the school, so like people kind of knew me like by association. But even then, like, I feel like most of the other kids in my year that were popular because they were like friends with the older kids. I was like, I knew them, or like high and by stuff, but I wasn't really like, I wasn't in the crowds like that. Even when it came to like other kids in my year, like I wasn't making friends like that. Like, I'm not a social person. I wasn't back then, and I'm still not. I really was only talking to the friends that I had from prep school, or like if I had any family or stuff like that. Like, I wasn't making new friends or anything like that. So once I got to second form, I don't know if like I made a conscious decision to be like, oh, I need to branch out, make more friends. I don't think I did, but that's kind of what happened. I remember I was book rental, and like I had a friend from my prep school, and she was talking to my other girls that like I knew of, but I wasn't like close to or anything. And she was talking to them, and like I think me and her were close at that time. So like I went to sit with her, I went over to her and whatever, and I was there with the other girls, and they were cool. I was like, okay, them girls are cool, them funny, like then cool. If I remember correctly, my class was in Dungeon. So I only had one other class beside me. But in second form, like, they moved us to a block that had I think 4 classes and then one like a little bit up on a hill. The girls from book rental were in that class. So somehow, I don't really know how friends make, but basically we became friends, and we're like in this little crew. Like, they were basically like my lunchtime, break time crew. So I think for the purpose of this story, it's only necessary for me to name 2 of those girls. So we're gonna name one of them Bonnet, and we're gonna name the other one Moosey. I was, I think, closest to Moosey, but Moosey was kind of everybody's friend. Like, in the crew, Moosey was kind of everybody's friend. And looking back at it, I feel like Moosey was probably like the gang leader. And we called our group Don Family. So me and Moosey actually still talk. So like I actually like messaged her a couple of days ago to refresh my mind, because like I couldn't remember why we started calling ourselves Don Family. But she said like she went to pantomime 1 year and somebody named the name like Don Father, Don something. So she started calling herself Don Mother. And all of we know, like we start calling one another like Don Auntie, like you're Don Daughter number 2, you're Don Pitney number 3, and we just like start calling with what the hell, we start calling ourselves Don Family pretty much. So Don Family also had like this Facebook group, like it was Facebook and BlackBerry era, and we had this Facebook group that wasn't just us. Like I think in the little crew it was probably 6 of us, if I not count wrong, but I think it was 6 of us. And then like in the Facebook group it was probably like 30 people. Like we had like other people we used to talk to, or like people we cool with, and then like we had a bunch of boys who were in our year. It wasn't anybody who wasn't in our year, but a bunch of boys who like were on the football team or stuff like that. And we basically like, we never used to do anything in the group. Like we used to post jokes and like talk about teachers and be like, hey, remember when this happened? Like it was very tame stuff. Like it wasn't anything like, look, it wasn't anything at all. Like I don't know if people know this, but in high school, like me never do much. Like I was very go schoolwork, come home, and then when I joined dance club it was like go schoolwork, dance club, come home. I mean, not even did know much things about people. Like even now people will tell me things that happen and I'd be like, where was I? Like me to go to the same school. Like me to know so many things that happened while I was at my high school, because I wasn't in the mix like that. I was very, I don't know if sheltered is the word, but like things I'm used to think about on a daily basis did revolve around Disney Channel and Jonas Brothers, and like that was what was in my head on a daily basis. Like that was what I probably spoke about the most in like during first round with my friends. Like I was very much that person. Like I didn't even listen to dancehall until I got in that group. I remember specifically in first form a boy asked me if me know if I talk patois, because I was talking straight English. The only thing in my head at that time was what is coming on Disney or Nickelodeon at 8 p.m. 7 p.m. Central. Like that was the only thing on my brain during that time. But like the group of girls were definitely more exposed than I was. On a daily basis, what we spoke about the most had to do with boys, to be completely honest. That was what we spoke about the most. And if me not tell lie, then I feel like most, if not everybody, I remember the friend that I originally had didn't, but all of the girls in that group had a little boyfriend. Me don't want to say I peer pressure, because I don't think anybody pressured me, but you know, the idiot, I don't know, I was young, but me decide say me want one little boyfriend too. And so I guess me pick my victim and me decide to me I go like this boy. Let's call the boy Tweezer. Yeah, let's call the boy Tweezer. Guys, me don't know if me talk to Tweezer 5 times during that period. Like it was very dolly old. Like it was very, send somebody go ask him if he like me and come back and tell me. I remember texting him and it was very like, what you do? What you do now? Okay, cool. What you do later? To be honest, me not think that boy that did like me. Him can't get me now, but me not think that boy that did like me. Me not even did see that, because I wanted to kind of just be involved so much, and that's where I go wrong. So 2 things happened that kind of led to the downfall of the Don family. One of them is I remember coming to school one day and like school did just dip on our friends. Like you know when you walk into something, or like you walk in a room and know some people that talk about you, like your energy did static, like you could have feel it. And apparently what happened was somebody told the VP, the vice principal, that there was this group of girls named Don family and they might extort people. Now guys, you don't know me, you don't see me size, you don't know me persona. Who me gonna extort? Like who am I going to extort? What role did I have in the extortion? Like, I feel like honestly the teachers and the VP should have been like, oh, no, so she involved? Okay, I'll not tell, because nothing can go so. But apparently we were extorting people, we were a gang. And the other problem that they had, because Moosey was calling herself Don Mother, apparently there was a footballer in I think the year before us, the year ahead of us, that was calling himself Don Papa or Don Father or Don something like that. And them say, oh well, if she had done more than him had done for done almost in our relationship, and no relationships on the school, especially between younger girls and older guys, so they're like, you know, that can't happen. How they sorted it, they like put us in the garage. If you know my high school, then you know the garage is a thing. It's in-house suspension, and the whole idea behind the garage is supposed to like bring shame for you, because like your teachers and your classmates and like people where you know supposed to pass and be like, oh, you're in trouble. And I remember being in the garage and like everybody in there cry. Everybody in there cry. I wasn't crying, but everybody in there cry. If me not remember anything else from this, to remember that everybody did a ball. And the teachers like printed, I don't know how they got that picture, but we made like a collage, because you know, picnic days, we had a collage on Facebook with like all of the members that we had in the Facebook group, and they took this in the staff room, and I remember they had it circulating and like being like, oh, she in there, she extort people. And they put like what do you call it, they put like alphabet letters on everybody's face, and they gave it to us and said, you know, write your name beside your letter and write your parents' number. We're gonna call your parents. I wasn't afraid. I think I was more confused than anything, because it never make any sense. These girls in here are cry right now. You're thinking, would I extort people and then get catch on a ball? Like, that doesn't even make no sense. But how it ended was that I think they called everybody's parents, and they told us all to, we had to like get rid of the group, and they called everybody's parents, and that was like the end of the Facebook thing. Now that was the first time like I ever got in trouble in high school. As I said, I wasn't doing anything, much as to do something to get in trouble. But the repercussions were very tame. Like literally they called my father, and my father was just like, don't make nobody call me again. So I think because like you never have any serious repercussions, like I was like, you know, let me continue like with my friendship. Like it ain't no problem. Looking back, that was like the warning signal, you know. Now the second thing is what I call the buff. The buff is when you're in a situation where you know you're not supposed to be in, and God, the universe, whatever you believe in, I go literally buff you in and make your forehead for tell us if you take yourself out of it. As I said, when in that little group, we mainly spoke about boys, right? Maybe like outside of me and them, they were talking about other things. As I said, they were in a class by themselves, and I was the only person in my class to be in the little group. Probably they were talking about other things, but for me, the only thing that like I related to them on was boys, because like I didn't have the same kind of exposure that they had, and I don't know, like I almost couldn't relate to them in a sense. Like they were just not better or worse, they were just like different than I was, to be honest. Like we didn't have the same interests. They weren't even like in the dance club or anything. Like it was just different. Like I didn't have that much in common with them, to be completely honest, but me did just want to be their friend. No guys, I was so tame that like I don't even know when me did I contribute to the conversations when like we don't talk about boys. Like I not even really have my first kiss yet. I don't even know what kind of, like probably I was just like, oh that sounds fun, like oh yeah you should, like I don't know when did I contribute to the conversation, much less to be basing a friendship off of talking about boys. But the boof came when I was talking to, I don't actually know if like I got it over text or if like I heard about it in person, but basically one of the girls in the group told me that Bonnet said that all I talk about is boys, so she don't really like talk to me, or that she don't really like me because all I do is talk about boys. To be honest, she wasn't lying, like she wasn't wrong. All I did talk about was boys. Me couldn't blame her, like probably me would have annoyed too. I think I asked her like, you know, why you talk about me, like if you have, like basically if you have a problem with me, why you not just say it to me? And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not lying, she said like, oh, you know, you can talk about me too, like it's not that deep. To me it is that deep. Like if we're friends, then I don't need to talk about you, you don't need to talk about me, and if you don't like me, then don't talk to me. You can talk about me if you don't like me, but don't talk to me, like leave me alone. So like, you know, obviously me did hurt about the fact that she did talk about me, but me also did like start realize, say, you know, she not wrong. She wrong to talk about me, but she not wrong in like what she said, because it is true, like me really and truly did not talk about anything else. But the problem wasn't that like me did like boy crazy or anything like that. The problem was me really just never relate to them, like me never have anything else to talk to them about. So once we find like this one thing where we kind of have in common, which is that we're both heterosexual, I guess, which is, you know, that's not enough. We pretty much just use that for the entire friendship. It was like, you know, if we're not talking about boys, then what else we're gonna talk about? If we're not talking about Twitter, we don't want me. Then we make a talk about. Me not lie, me did shame. Me did shame about the comment, and me did shame also because like the only reason she could have made that comment was because like me allow it, because me literally was like going out of my way for be friends with these people. Like I wasn't being myself. Like if I was being myself, I would be talking about the Jonas Brothers. Those are the boys I would be talking about. If I was being myself, I would be practicing how I can draw the little Disney thing and like imagining being on Hannah Montana. Like that's what was in my head. But me I tell myself like, oh, you know, me need to be more like these people, me need to be these girls' friends. And that just never made no sense. They both always wake you up. And for me, the perfect way for both me, I think shame me. Like from me shame me both right out. Like there's nothing else that can happen. There's no moving forward after me shame. After me shame, like it's just like everything lock off. Like you know how you have rose colored glasses? Me take off mine once me shame. After it happened, like me literally go home and it was like, that doesn't even make sense. People fear try to be friends with me. I shouldn't be going out of my way for try to be friends with people. God always a gonna lick you away or you hear best. And because me get the shame, it was like everything did just come, like me just come to my senses. To be honest, because she was talking about me, I felt like everybody was talking about me. I don't think that was true looking back at it. But at the time, I felt like everybody was talking about me. I'm the type of person, if like I feel like that, then me just run with it because I trust my gut. And like me not gonna be the idiot for be like, oh, me did feel like it but me never want to say it. Like if me feel it, I'm going to act on it. That's enough to cut the friendship. But then also the fact that like I don't think we should have been close friends anyways. So I have this thing about me, once I feel like a friendship don't make sense, then I'm just like snip snip, like clean cut, stitches and everything, everybody cool. Like there was no friendship basically. For me, it's never any beef involved. Like if I decide that I don't need to be friends with you, then that's my decision, that's my right. I'm not gonna talk about you, especially if you never really do me nothing like that. Like to this day, I've never spoken ill about any of those girls. Have I? I've never spoken ill about any of those girls. In my head, we really just never meant to be friends. So I was like, you know, let me just like take myself, let me just step back out of this and go somewhere, be by myself. Let me just go where I can be myself pretty much. So yeah, I cut everybody off, stopped talking to everybody and went back to being myself. And eventually I found like the right group of friends that I could be myself around, that I didn't have to force myself to like change or to be interested in things that I wasn't interested in. I talked to a couple other girls now and I'm like cool, you know, no beef. I don't even have a problem with Bonnet because we were young. And as much as like I was stupid enough to not be myself and I've like, you know, changed, I guess, and like grown out of that bad habit, I can give everybody else like the benefit of the doubt that they have grown out of whatever, that Bonnet has grown out of talking about her friends behind their back. If any of them have a problem with me, if you're watching this and have a problem with me, I'm so sorry. That's a you problem, it's not mine. I don't have any problem with you. It wasn't any beef then, still no beef now. Sorry. But I can't lie, I have had to snip people off since then. If you want to hear another story of when I had to snip off somebody that was real close, then, you know, just leave it in the comments down below. But, you know, I think this story time is always a reminder to me. Like, I call it a dark time because it's just like it's so outside of who I am and like, you know, how I am now. Like, it doesn't even make sense to me. Like, me look back on it like, where did even I think? And it's a reminder to me now that if I'm not myself, like, me will get both. I will get both. I'm gonna get both in a way where it a go connect. It a go boof and it a go connect. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and, you know, use my experience as a lesson to be yourself so you don't get both. Because it's not go nice and shame never nice. So, you know, learn from my mistakes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing if you have already. Go ahead and let me know in the comments what more you want to see from me. Give this video a thumbs up, share, do all those nice stuff that, you know, you need to do when you watch a good video. Don't forget to check out Ana Luisa New York and use the discount code that I've provided in the description box. And I'll see you guys in my next one.